If you want to see Freddy Krueger get eaten alive by a crocodile, then this is the movie for you. Tobe Hooper's follow-up to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Eaten Alive, was filmed in 1976, starring Neville Brand as Judd, Mel Ferrer as Harvey Wood, Carolyn Jones as Miss Hattie, that's right, Morticia Adams, Marilyn Burns as Faye, once again getting terrorized by a crazy lunatic with a sharp farming implement, William Finley as Roy and Weird Dude, Stuart Whitman as Sheriff Martin and the sanest person in the movie, Roberta Collins as Clara, the sister of the missing girl, Carl Richards as Angie, the little girl that Jamie Lee Curtis looked after in Halloween. Cool. Robert Englund as Buck, Freddy Krueger, I'm Buck and I'm raring to fuck. Kristen Sinclair as Libby Wood, the missing girl. So with these 70s horror movies, they definitely have a much slower pace about them than today's horror movies. This is long and slow and very drawn out, which is fine. If the horror movie and the story in itself are very engaging, that's cool. I found that this movie was a little bit off-putting only because the main character, Judd, played wonderfully well by Neville Brand, was a little bit just too weird. He was really off-kilter. Obviously a psychopath. He's got a real love for scythes, and he has a pet crocodile, so I guess if you're going to play a character like that, you are going to play him a little bit weird. There is a lot of monologuing. The camera stays on him for a long time while he has his inner turmoil. Yeah, obviously this guy's a nut. And we did spend a lot of time with him in this movie, but I just kind of found that he wasn't quite the engaging, sympathetic, charismatic anti-hero that these kind of movies need. The movie basically opens up with Libby Wood. She's run away from home, I think, and she ends up at this brothel down in Louisiana. Really nice setting, by the way, but this film is entirely filmed on a soundstage and you really feel it. She has a bit of a rough encounter with Robert Englund at her brothel. I think it might be like her first customer ever, and he wants to kind of like get down and dirty with her in a certain way, if you know what I mean. She's not really down with that, so Caroline Jones, Morticia, is the brothel madam here, folks. Chuffs her off. This isn't for you, take off. So she leaves and she's walking through the Louisiana shrubland, and she finds the Starlight Hotel run by Judd. That's right, our friendly, psychotic neighborhood hotel running manager, crocodile-owning, scythe-loving lunatic. Does that make any sense? Let's just say she comes a cropper. And if you need me to decipher that, it means she goes missing, guys. She meets a sticky end and she's no longer in the movie. And the crocodile is well fed. So the hotel is then populated with a cavalcade of weird characters. Marilyn turns up with her weird husband and a little girl. She's wearing a brown curly-haired wig initially, and I don't know why. She pulls that off when they get their room, and the husband's completely... He could be the star of this movie. He was a lunatic as well. I don't know why. It was just really weird, their relationship. It wasn't really established. It was just really odd. But the little girl from Halloween, she was good. She got to scream a fair bit. And then the missing girl's father and her sister turn up trying to find her. Obviously, Judd says, I've never seen her before in my life. They go looking for her. They end up coming back again later on because of plot. Robert Englund is the resident asshole jock who just likes populating the brothels and being a dick. But it was cool though, having Freddy Krueger in this. This is about 8 years before he actually got cast as Freddy Krueger. So Nightmare on Elm Street is still a distance off in his future, but still watching him in this movie with mannerisms that are just so familiar to the world, like Freddy Krueger, the way he moves, the way he talks. I'm very familiar with this character because I've seen those movies so many times. So seeing Robert Englund in a very, very early role, looking very, very young, still have those same mannerisms that he's going to later utilize as Freddy Krueger was really quite interesting and very cool. I've really enjoyed having Robert Englund in a very early movie role, and he's always good to see on screen. He's definitely the best actor in the film and very charismatic. You can see why he's going to become a horror superstar later in his career. So basically, people turn up to Judd's hotel, and because he's nuts, the movie's called Eaten Alive, so it's not that he kills the people, he maims them very badly. Like in a normal movie, the damage he does to these people would kill them instantly. But they live long enough to be thrown into the little swamp next door where his big fake-ass crocodile can eat them alive. And it's very, very hokey. So don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on this movie. Tobe Hooper definitely has got a really good eye when it comes to cinematography. He can craft a really good story. And like I said, these 70s films do have a slower pace about them. They are different to what we get in today's cinema. And I love my 70s movies, I really do. The look about them, the feel, the grit and the grime of these 70s movies is just palpable, and I really enjoy the cinema experience that these 70s films bring. I love my movies, and the cinema from the 70s is absolutely awesome. I love so many 70s movies. I grew up, I was born in early 70s, so I was a kid pretty much who was raised on these kind of horror movies. I have seen this one before many years ago. I don't think I've watched it too many times, because watching it today I just had a few glimmers of memory, but not too much. But I enjoyed it. So Tobe Hooper is a very good director. I can't see how he is the same man that directed Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Eaten Alive, Life Force, all those movies, and then has done Poltergeist. You cannot tell me that Poltergeist was not directed by Steven Spielberg, guys. I'm just saying, because the aesthetic, the look, the camera style, the everything he does as a director does not mesh with what we get in Poltergeist, because Poltergeist is freaking awesome, and that is all I'm going to say on the matter. So, do I recommend that you watch Tobe Hooper's Eaten Alive? Yeah, like if you're a fan of cinema and you're a fan of Tobe Hooper and you're a fan of horror movies in general, yeah, you got to check it out. Like I said, it's not a fast-paced film. You got to have a little bit of patience with this. It only goes for an hour and a half, so it's not like a really long slog. But there is a lot of pacing issues with it. Like I said, a slow-paced movie is fine, providing the characters and the story is engaging. I didn't really feel a lot of engagement with this one. I felt really detached because, once again, Judd, the lead character, was just too off-putting for my taste. He was just a little bit too weird, and I didn't really enjoy the performance that were given for that character. He was just too nuts with not really any explanation, which is fine also, because having a scary, iconic movie antagonist, the mystery about them can kind of lead to the horror. So not knowing much about your scary villain can lead to the scares. That's where Freddy Krueger has come undone with his later movies. We just learn too much about him and he becomes a stand-up comedian. I'm not knocking the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I love them to bits. But we still have to have some good characterization and a little bit of coherency in the storytelling, and I didn't feel that very much in this movie. It was fine, but not great. So I would give Eaten Alive 6 out of 10. Yeah, it was fine. It wasn't scary. The fake crocodile looked okay. This is a 1976 movie, guys, so the special effects aren't going to be ultra realistic, but that was fine. It serviced the movie. But yeah, it was just a little bit hokey and not as good as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is brilliant. Anyway, guys, thanks for checking into my channel. Hope you like my review on Tobe Hooper's Eaten Alive. Don't forget to subscribe, throw me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.